It's day 2. We're going to work on the second lesson for today. You should have already completed IXL 6th grade X2 graphing a point. We're going to move on to today to the second assignment, in which we're going to find the slope if we're given 2 points. If you need to log in to IXL, make sure you click here to log in to Clever. Make sure you're logged in so that your score counts. Make sure your name is up here. And then we're going to look at this assignment here. It says find the slope from 2 points. Now, there's really one way that you can do this. The easiest way is to label your points. So I always label them X and Y. Do the same thing for both of them, X and Y. And so I go 1, 1, and then I put this one as 2, 2. And that's because slope, which is represented by the letter M, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And so when we look at that, we can say, okay, so if that's true, then 1 minus 10 over x2 would be this one, 3 minus 1. And you can use a calculator. And so 1 minus 9 is negative, or I'm sorry, 1 minus 10 is negative 9. And 3 minus 1 is 2. We don't do anything. We just type that in right here. And so we type in negative 9 over 2. We use the slash mark for our fraction bar. So negative 9 over 2. Click submit. All done. The same thing is going to be true for the next problem. It's the same equation. And so I can go through and say, okay, well, the first one, I'm going to title X1, and so on. And so then I'm going to say, okay, so if I do that, then that means that it's going to be 9 minus 5 over 1 minus 10. Nine minus 5 is 4. 1 minus 10 is negative 9. Now, this is the kind of the weird part. When I go to type in my answer into my answer key, the negative signs always go in front. So you're going to type in negative 4/9. If 1's negative, we type it in the front. And then we click submit. We're going to do the same thing for the next problem. We're going to erase this. And we'll start off again with y2. In this case, this is y2. See how it's right there? X2 is right there. Y1 is right there. And X1 is right there. So 10 minus 8. And then we have 10 minus 7. Well, 10 minus 8 is 2. And 10 minus 3 is, or 10 minus 7 is 3. So then we have 2/3. So then we go back to our assignment here. We type in 2/3. Same thing's true. We move on to the next problem. And then you keep doing these over and over. They are a little time consuming, but it's still nice thing that you can just get them done. So this would be 7 minus 10, and then it would be 2 minus 7. Well, 7 minus 10 is negative 3. 2 minus 7 is negative 5. And when you have a negative over a negative, it just becomes a positive. So these negatives are gonna cancel each other. Two negatives cancel each other. And so then it becomes 3/5. And another way that you could do this is you could open up Desmos Scientific Calculator, and you could say, okay, because I want to do this the same way, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the division symbol, and then you're going to do y2 first. So 7 minus 10, and then you're going to click on the bottom, and you're going to do x2, which is 2, minus 7, and then what you're going to click on this fraction bar, it's going to tell you 3 out of 5, and you'll see that it's the same thing. You could keep that fraction up there, and for the next problem, you could do it just on the calculator. You don't have to do this by hand every single time. We could just say, okay, we're going to use the calculator to do that. And so then we would go back to our calculator, and we would say, okay, we're going to delete these numbers on both the top and bottom, and then we're going to type it in just like it says. So it says y2 is 10 minus y1, which is 6, and then on the bottom side it says x2 minus x1, so 2 minus 9, right? And then when we drag this over, we can see that the answer is negative 4 over 7. So over here, you would just type in negative 4 over 7. Again, you can do it by hand, or you can do it with the Desmos calculator. What's important is that you do y2 minus y1, and so forth. We can do this by the calculator again. We'll go through, we'll delete this here, and then we're going to hit the division bar. So we got a fraction looking thing, and so it says 9 is y2, minus 16 is y1, and then 3 minus 1 is the next one. We want to make sure it's in a fraction, so we got negative 7 over 2. Over here, we type in negative 7 over 2. And you can keep on going until you solve all of these. And at 80 is an A. Anything above 80 is extra credit.